If you are a teacher, parent, administrator, student, and/or anyone who loves reconnecting children with nature, and you want to figure out how to cultivate learning gardens and nature-based curriculum, then this is the podcast, the Outdoor Classrooms Podcast. My name is Victoria Hackett. I am the founder of Outdoor-Classrooms.com and the Secret Gardens Nature Classes. I love witnessing the magic that happens when children are playfully learning outdoors. Observing the return of wonder and curiosity when children are interacting with nature is pure magic. This is the podcast that is going to help you capture children's interest and give you not only inspiration, but some real life strategies that are going to help you figure out how to use the outdoor space, your outdoor space, as a teaching tool, so you can enlighten the playful learning experience for young children. Welcome to our Outdoor Classrooms community. Hey everybody, I just want to tell you a little bit of a backstory of how our new Outdoor Classrooms Teacher Certification Program came to be. We are launching it in January. Our first classes will begin in January. We're going to be getting everybody registered in December. But I want to let you know that this certification program actually came from our community. So we had an amazing circle member that asked me a question and said, Victoria, I love your work. I love our community, and my school is asking me to get certified. And I'm wondering if you have a certification program. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, yeah, we kind of do, actually. We have our boot camp, which introduces the 5 phases of teaching outdoors, which really offers a framework and a guide to answer that question that educators constantly ask me, which is, where do I start? So what I did was I went back and I revamped that entire course, adding assessment tools to each of the 5 phases of teaching outdoors. And then I realized that we were all going through, I had created these 4 seasonal master classes for each season to look at each of the 4 types of teaching gardens, which is an amazing way to look at our outdoor classrooms through these various teaching gardens. So I combined these teaching gardens with the seasons to really figure out how could we spend more time outdoors in these various areas that we've created. So then I created this bundle, which was the Explore Nature Seasonal Masterclass Bundle. So this really allows educators to dive deeper into teaching outdoors all year round and how to do that. And then I realized that, to really make it a certificate program, we've got to dig deep as educators to become mentors, to become advocates, to become leaders in this nature-based education movement. And that's my vision. My vision is to truly have every child in every school to have access to an outdoor classroom. And in order to do that, we need to train our educators and get them excited to teach outdoors. And the way I see it and the way I do it is through these 4 types of gardens. And then, so what I created was this, Teaching Beyond Walls, it being a capstone course. And this is a course where educators can really dig in deep into their own final project and really come up with their own pedagogy. Researching others' pedagogies and really coming into their own pedagogy, and therefore truly becoming advocates, mentors, leaders in this movement, which is what we need. We need to come together as educators and move our classrooms outdoors, because all the research and the research is telling us this is what we need to do. We need to start raising children that are going to take care of our earth, because it's not doing so well right now. So again, I am so over the moon about this program. It has come together absolutely beautifully. But I wanted to let you know that it's not necessarily something that I dreamed up behind the scenes here. It's actually what I love most about it is that it has come from our community. It was a ask. It was a big ask. And so what I did was I wanted to fulfill that ask, and I'm so everly grateful to our community. And you know who you are, who asked me that question. And I'm forever grateful because it really enabled me to get clear on if I was to create an outdoor classroom certificate program, what would it look like? And I think what we do here at Outdoor Classrooms is very, very unique. It's not necessarily for a school. It is truly using this framework of the 4 types of gardens to look at our outdoor spaces within that framework. And it's dynamite. So again, I hope you can join us. I'm so looking forward to unveiling more details about this. We'll talk soon. Best parts about hosting a podcast is the absolutely amazing people that I get to meet. I would like to formally introduce Jaala Shaw. She holds a MA in early childhood education, an MA in TESOL, and a BA in political science and education. She started her teaching career as a United States Peace Corps volunteer in Chengdu, China, as an English teacher. Then in the Federated States of Micronesia as an elementary school teacher of agricultural and outdoor education. For many years after that, she was an instructor at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and later at the University of Colorado, Boulder. She has received 2 U.S. State Department's English language fellowships to train teachers in Afghanistan and Jordan. She has also worked in Israel and Palestine, learning about nonviolent conflict resolution and peace building. As she worked with refugees in war zones, she realized that children are the people who will change the world. So she returned to the United States to begin her teaching career anew, this time with our youngest learners. Besides teaching, Jaala is a professional coach and lover of all sports. She works for CrossFit headquarters on their coaching seminar staff and is a creator and director of a worldwide fitness program for kids at GO RUCK. She and her husband, Larry, along with their dog, Carmen, love to do ultra endurance events, summit big mountains, and rock climb. Jaala enjoys reading and writes freelance about politics and education for various organizations. She loves languages and quote unquote tries to speak some Mandarin, Spanish, and Arabic, but she admits that she isn't very good at any of them. I don't believe that. So without further ado, Jaala Shaw. Hello, everybody. We are here with Jaala Shaw. Hello, Jaala.
Hi, happy to be here.
Great. I'm so thrilled that you are here. And I think we crossed paths. You did an incredible workshop at the Natural Start Alliance conference. And I'm just so thrilled to learn more and dig in more into your work. So I'd love for you to kind of give a little background of yourself and a little introduction.
Yes, so I did a presentation at the Natural Start Alliance conference in the summer about rucking, so wearing a weighted backpack while walking, and heavy work for children and doing it outdoor and kind of how to integrate that into outdoor education programs. I've been an educator for about 20 years now, and I've taught every age from preschool and infants all the way up to adults. I've been a college professor, an outdoor school educator, and I've worked for the Department of State, training teachers all over the world. And now I find myself in the public schools in Virginia as a kindergarten teacher. I also direct the program GO RUCK Tribe Kids, where I specialize in that rucking and heavy work for kids outdoor. The last job I have is CrossFit headquarters staff, where I train CrossFit coaches on the weekend for their certificates for coaching. So I do a lot of things. focus on fitness and education, and right now, little kids.
Wow. So can you tell me a little bit more about Go Ruck and Tribe Kids and how that came to be?
Yes. GORUCK is a company that makes backpacks and they do events to connect people like civilians to the veteran community. That's the bottom line of the company. During the pandemic, the owner, Jason McCarthy, and his wife, Emily, they saw in their children who were young at the time that they were missing some connections that they would have had in school. They were doing, just like many parents, all of the education with their kids from home and playing with them outside. And they thought, hey, let's get the kids together and we'll do some workouts with our kids together with our rucksacks, our backpacks. You can do functional movement and weightlifting with your backpack. You don't need so much. We started chatting and I was like, hey, let's make this an entire kids program that we can make for free around the world so that people can get their kids out and have a kind of structure. So it was a baby of the pandemic. And we started the program just about a year after the pandemic had started to get families outside with their kids doing things. And then I can tell you more about the structure of it if you want to know as we go forward in the
Yeah,
podcast.
that was my next question, actually. So, yeah, can you dig a little bit deeper with the structure and how that works? And
Yes, for sure. So we wanted a few things from the program, not only an outdoor program that people can do easily outside, no matter where you are, but we wanted an education component too. So every month there's 4 parts of the program and it's all open access for free. And I'll tell you if you want to pay what else you get. So the 4 parts of the program are we program one workout and there's a demo video and all you need is your backpack to do the workout. And after the workout, we have one ruck, which is just a weighted walk. And there's various ways you can do it depending on the month. Sometimes we have the children do it with a friend and a grown up. Sometimes it's just with their grown up. Sometimes there's other components to this walk. The other 2 are focusing on literacy and social emotional development. So we choose books for them. There's one book for 8 and under, and there's one book for 8 and over, and they're related to a monthly theme like empathy or kindness or something like that. Each month has a theme. And then the social emotional learning is doing that thing. So this month, the theme is teach, and their social emotional learning piece is that they have to teach a friend or family member something that they learned that month. It could be as simple as like tying their shoes. Or if they're older children, it could be like, I just learned how to do this new multiplication skill I want to teach someone. And the idea is that through teaching, they're learning and developing their communication skills. So that's kind of what it looks like every month, those 4 parts. And it's all open source for free. And we'll tell you later how to get that free content. If the grown-ups, parents or guardians subscribe, they get a newsletter from me that has research-based articles that are linked to the newsletter about the monthly theme, like how can we teach children 8 and under empathy and kindness, or what does medical research say about preventing suicide in young children. So we have some serious subjects in addition to the more lighthearted one. So they get that newsletter and then the children get a patch, so like a Velcro patch to put on a backpack that has the theme sewn onto the patch. So it's $10 a month if they do subscribe. If they don't, they can get everything for free on our website except for that newsletter and patch. So we wanted to make it open source because not everyone wants to pay for something, and we still want the message out there. So that's kind of the structure of the program: 8 and under and 8 and over, and 4 challenges a month.
that's incredible. So rucking itself, that is,
Yes.
and just being outdoors, I'm sort of speaking to the choir because if you're listening to this podcast, where a lot of us are outdoor educators, but you have this rucking component to it. Can you, and I know it's sort of, heavy backpacks, and can you tell us a little bit more about that and where that comes from and why that's
Yeah,
important?
for sure. So rucking, the term is connected to British English. Hiking or walking with a backpack is just rucking. Rucking has its connection to special forces, which the owner of GORUCK, the company, Jason McCarthy, was a special forces soldier, a Green Beret in the Army. And rucking comes from that. They need to infiltrate or go into a situation and carry all of their gear on their back. However, it's great for any human to walk with weight on their back. So as Jason and Emily developed the country, not only were they making gear, but rucking started to be something so easy and accessible that you can do outside for just like baseline fitness, that rucking became a thing, and a thing that you can do for fitness that's highly accessible. So rucking is walking with a weighted backpack, but it doesn't have to be super heavy. As little as 10 pounds can help you burn more calories and get fitter by using your abdominal and back muscles to hold yourself upright than walking with no weight. So you can walk as slow as molasses and carry 10 pounds, and you're still going to burn some more calories than just walking without a backpack. Moms everywhere and dads know that carrying your child is rucking. So you're carrying your child a lot in the outdoors, and that's rucking too. But for kids, it's the same thing. They walk with a weighted backpack quite frequently to and from school. So taking a little bit of weight out of it and just having it on their back and then moving it with their arms or doing squats or other movements is a way that they can work out too and experience the outdoors while also doing some fitness at the same time. So there's a lot of applications of rucking, and now GORUCK has made rucking a fitness thing, not just a functional thing.
Yeah. And do you
Yeah.
see a lot of outdoor programs using rucking? I mean, obviously it's outdoors, but like you're a kindergarten teacher now. So are you incorporating these type of fitness ideas and concepts into even your regular teaching program?
Yeah, it's a great question. When I was an outdoor school teacher, I used to work for Audubon Naturalist Society, which is now called Nature Forward, at the location I was at. And I was teaching 4 years old and under, and I would use their backpacks for various movements, which was really easy because we're 100% outside. Now I'm a public school teacher and I'm with 5 and 6 year olds in kindergarten. And it's a little bit harder to get outside when you have such a set curriculum. But with me, I use their backpack during brain breaks. So we were doing squats, holding our backpacks in front of us. We've done presses, pressing our backpacks overhead. It's a steep learning curve. You got to think ahead and get them to zip all the zippers before they bring their backpacks to the carpet and stuff like that. As far as the outdoor component, I'll do a story walk outside. We have a big playground, and the librarian posts a story walk on the fence on the perimeter of the playground. And I will tell them to put their backpacks on and bring one book that they can silent read outside after we do our story walk. So I combine our science and our literacy into like a 20-minute block sometimes, and I do it outside. So they stick a book in their backpack, which is like 2 pounds, but they're little. It's something. And then we put their backpack on, we go and do the story walk. They sit down in the field and they silent read for 10 minutes or so. They get that fresh air. They get a little weight on their back in a safe manner, and they get that stimulation. So I think people listening know that heavy work and rucking is a neuroregulator. So kids need a brain break. And when they're moving weight, it helps their central nervous system calm down after they do it. So that's why things like weighted blankets, weighted vests are used in special education circumstances, because they help with that neural regulation when children's brains are overactive. That stimulation of their nervous system helps them calm down. We can link it in the show notes too, but Emily McCarthy, the co-owner of GORUCK, one of their sons has some special needs, and they found that as the owner of GORUCK, their doctor recommended that their son do heavy work to regulate his nervous system, and light bulb goes off. Emily was like, oh my goodness, I own a rucking company. My son can put weight in his backpack and it's going to help him regulate. She wrote an article about that we can also link in the
Oh
show.
my goodness.
Yeah, it just helps so in so many ways. That fresh air, the neuroregulation, the stimulation of their nervous system, then to help them calm. And it's just a break from sitting in the classroom for me as a public school teacher. So it has all of those components, and the kids love it too.
So it's sort of taking, even that concept of just getting outdoors and taking
Yeah.
just up leveling it a little bit and adding
Yeah.
a second component
Mm-hmm.
and how that is regulating
Yeah.
our bodies. And not only it's kind of like so simple.
Yeah, it's applicable to adults too. Like, I have a friend in Colorado who's a great friend of mine, and I left her a rucksack with a weight plate in there, just 20 pounds, and she's a regular size adult human. And I told her, all you have to do to get some extra exercise is just put this on when you walk your dogs, because she walks her dogs like 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm like, this is all the exercise you need to meet your weight goals. And it'll take time, but if you do it consistently, think about all that weight you're lifting. And what do you know? A year later, she contacts me. She's like, hey, guess what? About 6 months after you left the ruck for me, I started wearing it on dog walks and I've lost 30 pounds. And it's just
Wow.
like, she's a person who was just walking the dogs for exercise, but then she added this light. It's not light, relatively lightweight in relation to everything else we carry on our shoulders figuratively in the world. And she lost 30 pounds across 6 months, I think. So it's just a simple thing. Put it by your door, put it on. And in addition to being that cue to go outside, you're like, oh, there's my backpack by the door. I should put it on and go outside. It's giving you some added resistance. So we call it like active resistance training. Instead of standing in a gym and lifting weights, you're putting that weight on your back and just walking outside. So that active resistance training is helping you burn a little bit more calories over time. And it's so easy.
And I think about all of the issues with nature deficit disorder and
Yeah.
obesity and children suffering from obesity. This is
Yeah.
like do you make those connections in your newsletters? And I'm
Yeah.
sure that's part of the message that you're sending out to folks.
Yeah, I think it was our theme last month. I chose the theme of listen, and I actually challenged the children to be silent with their grown up for their ruck for 30 minutes and listen to the nature sounds and see what they can hear. And they weren't allowed to carry a phone. Their grown-ups weren't allowed to have their phone. No photos of each other. Just listen and see what you can hear in nature. And I had two parents. We have about 200 to 250 members all around the world. I had two parents email me and say, I don't think I ever go out and don't look at my phone or talk to someone in nature for 30 minutes. It was such a profound experience to be like holding their child's hand, just walking for 30 minutes and saying, did you hear that bird? Ooh, there's a lawnmower out there. You can hear all the cars going by here. And here you can't. So they said it was a pretty profound experience to just like get in nature for only 30 minutes, right? For the whole month, that's all they had to do. And one of the parents said that's the only time she took a walk outside the whole month, but it was such a great experience. And she only did it because her child was in the program and needed her to go with them. But yeah, but it's amazing, right? Like you and I, and maybe a lot of people listening, we go outside every day and it's just something that we do. But for some people who work from home or are driving a lot, they never get outside besides walking from car to destination to car. So that's pretty profound. And we do talk about that in our newsletter with children and the percentage of the hours and days in the year and in the day that children are online. I think that average for children 14 and over was 8.5 hours a day that they're online or on a screen if they're attending public school. And this one's so sad. For 14 and under, it was like 7.5 hours. So we do write about those things too. And it's so important for children to get outside more. But we're not setting the bar low, but we want to set the bar doable. So that's why we do that one outdoor workout, one outdoor walk a month. And if you can meet that low bar, then you'll see how great it is and you'll want to do it more. So that's kind of our goal, is just to get people out there doing it to see how awesome it is, like the nature walk.
Absolutely. So are
Yeah.
there any challenges that you may have experienced along this journey, and then maybe some solutions that you've come up with in terms of everything from rucking to tribe kids to you're teaching kindergarten?
I think I did not see the challenge in getting outside when I was an outdoor teacher. I'm like, why doesn't everyone do this? But now that I'm in the public school, I understand a little bit better. This is my first year of 20 years of teaching in a public school setting, and I get it. You have a set curriculum, you have a schedule. Even with 5-year-olds, I have like 10 subjects a day that I have to get through at a certain time. You have timestamps. So if someone comes to observe you, they know you're going to be in science at that minute. So how do you fit in those outdoor moments, or how do you help the kids experience nature when you have to get all this other stuff done? So that's a challenge. And I'm actually working on an article for teaching young children, which is part of the NACI, National Association for the Education of Young Children. I'm working on an article that I hope they publish about how you can be a healthy teacher and model healthy living for kids. And I'm going to write specifically for the public school population, like, how do you integrate outdoor life into that day? How do you model healthy eating? How do you model moving your body? That's a challenge, I think. Even me just going out for 20 minutes last week and doing the story walk plus the book reading, I had to integrate that literacy into my nature walk in order to get it done during the day. So I think the challenge is probably for public school teachers, how do you add these things to a curriculum that's so fixed, right? And that's a huge population of teachers that I didn't forget about, but I just didn't see because I wasn't in that population, you know?
Right. And if you are in the world of nature-based education, you are
Yeah.
already doing it,
Yeah.
then, or if you're in a school and you're the one person doing it, as opposed to the entire school has the whole
Yes.
philosophy of,
Mhm.
so it's really, and it is such a huge chunk. And how, and again, that's the question I always ask myself: how can we get to the point where it's in our public school systems that it's normal? It's
Yeah, that is part of it.
classrooms. They all have. I love the rucking. I mean, just these simple things that we can add, and then
Mhm.
how can we get to that point? So I think all these pieces uh, come together like that. So
Yeah.
are there any inspirational, practical tips for our listeners that you would like to share? Any other additional stories? You've been all over the world. I feel like we just scratched the surface, but
Yeah, as far as rucking goes, I think the the piece for me that's inspirational is that there are people doing this in the inner cities. There are people, I'm talking about this rucking. There are people doing it in the country, rural, urban. You can do it anywhere, is the thing that I like the most about GORUCK. And although we are a backpack company, you can use your own backpack. You don't have to buy a GORUCK rucksack in order to do these things. You can put weight in any backpack. You can walk anywhere. We have a contingency in Mexico City that does our Ruck Club in Mexico City, which, there's not a lot of nature in Mexico City, but each month they send us their kids doing the workout at a park, and they're walking through the city with their backpacks on. And I really love that we have that contingency of people rucking in Mexico City. We have people doing it in Korea and Japan in dense cities. They're finding nature in these places where there's not a lot of nature. So I think that's inspirational. It shows how easy it is. It's not easy, but it's easy. It's not easy, but it's simple. I think that's a better way to say it. It's not easy to get outside when you have such a busy life, but it's a simple thing that when you start doing it consistently, you're like, okay, this is easier than I thought it was. So I
And
think,
it's so good.
yeah,
It's that domino effect. It's that
yes,
you have to knock down that first domino
yeah.
too. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
well, this feels good. So there's this freedom that comes with it because your body feels better and all the things that
Yeah.
you're more
Just
regular.
like my friend walking her dog with her backpack. She's like, oh, I feel better this day. Oh, I'm a little sore. I think something's happening. And then it just becomes second nature. So I think that's the idea.
So if I was to start rucking,
Hmm.
would I just get a backpack and throw some things in it? What would you recommend for the average person like me?
Yes, just to start rucking, get a backpack and
Start.
put like 10 pounds in there and walk like that every day if you can, but every other day is fine. And it doesn't have to be a long time. Like my friend who walked her dog 15 to 20 minutes, that's all you need. So 10 to 20 pounds is a good place to start. And
Wait, any
yeah,
way.
any kind of weight. So you can put a few books in there. I see your bookshelf. The regular person can just put any weight they have. Some people start by putting a small dumbbell in there, but anything that weighs a little bit is better than nothing. And then just start walking. Do it consistently to build your foot muscles because your arches won't be used to carrying extra weight unless you're used to carrying your kids around or hiking. And then going up to about 20% of your body weight to 30% of your body weight. It's kind of like an upper limit for people who aren't doing it for a living or in a weight carrying profession like police, firefighters, military. So
Uh,
staying in like the 10 to 30 pound range is that's enough. And to just carry that when you're walking and do it consistently, and your feet will get stronger, we call it spinal erectors. So your back and your lower back actually get stronger when you're doing this. Some people ask me, doesn't it hurt your back to carry heavy weight? No, if you do it gradually, then your back will get stronger and it'll make sitting at your desk feel a lot better too, because all those muscles we use to sit upright are worked when we're walking with some of that weight. So that's my tips. Put some weight up to 10 pounds to 20 pounds in a backpack and start walking.
woo-hoo! I'm
Yeah.
ready.
And if you feel like spending money, we'll put the links in the show notes, but there's a lot of things that you can use from GORUCK. We have like a simple weight plate carrier. It's not a backpack, it's just straps to carry the weight, and we sell the weight. And then there's backpacks, of course, that you can use for more than just walking around. But yeah, you can do it with anything you have, or there's more specialized equipment. But the key is it's easy and you can do it with what you have, you know?
I love that. So
Yeah.
again, I'd love to. This has been absolutely amazing. Anything that we might have missed, any tips, advice, which you just gave, but anything else before we wind up?
I think if you get on the GORUCK website, just look around there. We have an adult version of the tribe. So we have tribe and tribe kids, and those are like the social components of rucking. So the tribe has a theme every month. They have a book or a documentary and a newsletter for adults. And then the kids have a tribe, and that's for 8 and over and 8 and unders. So there's that social component. It's not just about selling things. It's about getting people outside and exercising in a simple way. So look through the tribe stuff, and I'll give Victoria some links so that you can see what it is.
Oh, thank you so much. So where can we find you? I know the links will be there, but if you can just share on the podcast as well, if anybody
Yeah,
wants.
all of the GORUCK information is at GORUCK.com, GORUCK.com. And we'll put the specific links to the tribe, the social component. And then on Instagram, I am Drop by Drop Fitness. And that's the name of my coaching business too. So I'll give Victoria all the information.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So much. Looking forward to starting my rucking.
Yes, thank you for having me on this show. And please, everyone, get outside and just go walking, even if you don't have weight. Experience being outside and get your friends to go with you too.
Awesome.